This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Friday, the 6th day of September in the year 2019. Here is what we're tracking tonight. Today's meeting of the Guyana Elections Commission ended once again with no firm decision being made on the way forward for national elections. At the meeting, a proposal was put before the Commission by the Commission's Secretariat, looking at the earliest date for elections being in March of next year. The opposition-nominated members of the Commission said such a proposal cannot be accepted.
We have now at least 4 proposals from the Secretariat which suggest that elections will be held in March of next year.
2 days after, 1 year away from constitutional date of election.
We are
1 year and 2 days.
opposed to that situation. We are insisting that we accord with the constitutional imperatives. We advise that the house-to-house registration is incomplete, it's aborted, and that there should only be minimal use of data from the house-to-house registration to identify persons who are first-time registrants.
Government-nominated Commissioner Vincent Alexander said while the March timeline was presented to the Commission, it is not definite and other matters have to be discussed.
Well, the document which was before us, the proposition was March. The document which was before us.
Today.
But that document is under revision, and so I would prefer not to be specific about the date, but indeed the document before us did say March.
The Elections Commission will meet again on Tuesday to further look at the process for early elections, following that no-confidence motion that was passed in December of 2018. The opposition has accused the Elections Commission and the government of being involved in delaying tactics. More news coming up in just a moment.
Securing the best healthcare facility for you and your family is important. At Balwansing Hospital, we take pride in giving you the best healthcare at unbeatable prices. We offer a 24-hour emergency care, a well-equipped ambulance, the best group of international doctors. Whatever your medical needs are, we are here to make sure you're taken care of like family. From eye care to dental service, the best, most experienced gynecologist, pediatric care, skin care, well-trained radiologist, and a trauma center. Our goal is to get you healthy so you can live a healthier life. Balwansing Hospital, caring for you and your family by offering healthcare at unbeatable prices. Live, love, and enjoy life. Call 226-4279 or visit us at 314 East Street, Georgetown. Balwansing, best healthcare at unbeatable prices.
Hello, baby. Yeah.
Knocked away from Young Huang.
Yo, why you gotta get away from the credit, buddy? I recommend that you for blah blah. Let me actually gain, but it's not you that buy back the credit when it's done. Buy back because she money for five.
Activate the GT&T Fab 5 plan today. For only $5,005, you get free unlimited calls to 4 of your closest family and friends, 5 gigs of data plus 250 text messages, and your Fab 5 friends can call you for free. GT&T Fab 5.
Wait. So who we putting as we Fab 5? Yours.
Experience bliss in an exclusive atmosphere as Universe boss Chris Gayle celebrates his 40th birthday in Guyana.
Batman out and stunting. Chris Gayle Kyle kick like dumpling.
40 Shades of Gayle, featuring Kes the Band live and in concert.
If you're coming down from the mountain, oh God,
At the Arthur Chung Conference Center on Saturday, 5th October. Early bird Standard tickets, $3,000. General, $4,000. Stage front, $10,000. 40 Shades of Gayle. Party with the Universe boss, Chris Gayle, and a star-studded cast of international cricketers. 40 Shades of Gayle. Featuring Kess the Band live and in concert at the Arthur Chung Conference Center on Saturday, 5th October.
All across our nation, Guyana, we see it in your lives. The future growing even stronger. GBTI, all eyes on Guyana skies as the voices of our people rise again. GBTI, Guyana's pride is in your eyes. GBTI, we see Guyana through your eyes.
Welcome back. The government of Guyana is of the view that the Guyana Elections Commission must be allowed to function independently and given the space needed to get the job done as it prepares for early elections. At a press conference this morning, Director General in the Ministry of the Presidency, Joe Harmon, told reporters that GCOM should also be given the time to do its work.
That the competence lies in the Elections Commission, and therefore it is our view that the Elections Commission should be given the time to do the work which they are paid to do. We have already said as a government and the parties in the coalition that we respect the decisions of the Elections Commission, and we believe that the chairman of the commission and her commissioners must be given every opportunity to do their work.
The opposition has issued a call for GCOM to immediately start all preparations for national elections. The opposition PPP wants the commission to produce a preliminary voters list from the existing national register and not merge the information from the recently completed house-to-house registration exercise. But Mr. Harmon said the government believes that a merger of the data is the best way to move forward, and therefore it supports GCOM's decision.
It is the competence of the Elections Commission to determine their ability to be able to deal with this matter in a timely way. What I can say to you is that I have heard no credible, practical, and efficient alternative to what the Elections Commission is suggesting. We've heard statements made by the opposition that they can do this and they can do that. Let them take that information to the Elections Commission and let the Commission interrogate it to see what it is you will find. My understanding is, coming from one of the statements made by a commissioner, is that the process which is being suggested by the PPP will take an even longer time than the one which the Commission now proposes.
The government spokesman also said it should be made clear that with the merging of the data, there will be cross-referencing and not just names being put together.
I believe that the Elections Commission has made a statement on this matter, and sometimes we tend to interpret what these bodies with the technical competence, what it is that they say. My understanding is that there is not going to be a merger in the sense as you understand it, as like putting these two lists into one and making one. What I understand is going to happen is that the lists produced from the house-to-house registration and the current list that exists, that there's going to be what you call a cross-matching of these two lists, so that the data from the house-to-house registration, they will cross-match it with that. And arising out of that process, you will then arrive at another list. So at no time, my understanding is, will you have the house-to-house data put into one bundle with the current existing NRR.
Mr. Harmon said the president remains committed to setting a date for the elections as soon as the commission indicates its readiness. Still with politics, the opposition People's Progressive Party Civic is once again demanding that the Guyana Elections Commission immediately begins preparations for elections. The party has reiterated its opposition to the merger of data from the just concluded house-to-house registration exercise and the existing National Register of Registrants. Opposition leader Gayle has indicated that the party's position is that the information from the national registration exercise is unverified and could contaminate the National Register of Registrants.
The list is bloated with the dead people. But did you need a house-to-house exercise to remove the dead people? When GCOM has currently the authority to remove dead people on the voters list, all they have to do is to get the death certificates from GRO. If you've had 5,000 people who died, publish the names of the people, and then remove them from the voters list.
Mr. Gayle also said he finds it strange that many of the positions of the Elections Commission are positions that the government appears supportive of.
So this is again wasting our time. Wasting time because they want to delay. The commissioners from APNU plus some members of the Secretariat are putting up every single hurdle to prevent us having elections in a timely manner. And that is why we said, until now, almost since they should have been ready since March 21st, but until now they haven't started the preparation for elections.
The Elections Commission Chairman Justice Claudette Singh has already decided that there will be a merger of the data. The opposition believes all of that is part of what it considers delaying tactics by the government. The PPP has singled out the government-nominated commissioners for pushing for the merger of information, although it was the GCOM chair who made that decision on her own over a week ago with no input from any of the commissioners. The opposition party, in a statement last evening, complained that Justice Singh has chaired more than 4 meetings since taking office as the GCOM chairman, and the commission is not closer to holding national elections anytime soon. Well, convicted Guyanese drug trafficker Shahid Roger Khan is now not sure when exactly he will be deported to Guyana. Khan was expected to be brought to the country last evening on a commercial flight by U.S. agents, but that arrangement was changed a few days ago, and the Guyana government was informed. No clear reason has been provided for the decision to delay the deportation. However, sources familiar with similar cases have indicated to news source that it would not be surprising if the airlines may be expressing some concern over transporting the high-profile criminal on one of their regular commercial flights. The source explained that while deportees are routinely returned on regular flights, some airlines have expressed concern in the past about transporting high-profile criminals. Roger Khan was scheduled to travel on American Airlines. There are instances when the U.S. would do bulk deportations to Latin America and the Caribbean and would use one of its own contracted planes. Roger Khan was released from prison back in July, but has remained in U.S. custody at a detention center awaiting deportation. Local officials remain tight-lipped about Khan's deportation. Roger Khan served time in the U.S. after pleading guilty to narco-trafficking. He was sentenced to 10 years in jail as part of a plea deal. The details of that plea deal have never been made public, but it is believed that he cooperated with the U.S. authorities in several areas. A senior government source has told news source that the U.S. authorities have not indicated a new date or timeline for Khan's deportation. Well, Deputy Police Commissioner Lyndon Alves has been cleared of being involved in any alleged corrupt practices or criminal conduct in the Guyana Police Force. However, there are administrative issues that will need to be addressed. Police Commissioner Leslie James this afternoon told reporters that the investigation by the Police Office of Professional Responsibility has cleared the Deputy Police Commissioner of any criminal conduct. The Commissioner said some administrative issues with regard to Mr. Alves will now be addressed. Alves was sent on administrative leave after a number of allegations were made against him by some junior police ranks about alleged corruption practices when he served in the Berbice area. The investigation was extensive and a number of police officers as well as other persons were questioned. Alves, who is nearing the age of retirement, was promoted to Deputy Police Commissioner just over a year ago. Let's tell you now that the Guyana Civil Defense Commission has started its collaboration with a number of other agencies as it prepares to support the regional relief efforts to the hurricane-ravaged islands of the Bahamas. This morning, CDC officials met with representatives of the various agencies they intend to partner with in the Guyana relief efforts. Senior Response Officer at the CDC, Salim October, explained that at this stage, the Bahamas is in need of specific expertise and equipment.
So engineering, electrical, mechanical, civil, linesmen, utility polesmen and women, construction workers, plumbers, masons, carpenters, medical practitioners. Well, this one is a high priority, doc. They actually have a portal now that is set up for medical practitioners from the level of nurses, EMTs, and doctors to pre-register their interests to be volunteers in this response. There may be many other professionals. I know through the Caribbean Disaster Response Unit, they utilize military professionals and police professionals from around the region. So if those are needed, then the appropriate request will be made and the country will facilitate.
The official said bank accounts have been set up for financial donations. Those donations will be channeled directly to the regional coordinating body.
So at this time, the Civil Defense Commission has set up a Republic Bank account, and you can take note of that account there. So the idea behind this account, and there might be a few more available by the end of the day, is to channel financial resources so that we can channel them through the government of Guyana to the CDEMO, which is the principal recipient of these funds, so that they can continue their relief efforts to the people of Bahamas. There are a number of other accounts out there by private banking institutions, such as the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry, so also you can familiarize yourself with some of those.
The CDC is warning against the donation of perishable items, and the Commission has indicated too that non-perishable items should only be donated in container form, and shipment would then be facilitated. Across the Region is coming up next.
We should be proud because, as I've been on record as saying, the cost for these vessels, whether they're leasing or whether the second one we are likely to be purchasing, these are costs which we as Guyanese have to pay. So I know we have been seeding a lot and saying, oh, Exxon's vessel and Exxon Mobil first FPSO. But as Guyanese, we should start recognizing that these are our monies. And so it is a Guyanese vessel pumping Guyanese fuel, which will be bringing in Guyanese revenue to help Guyanese to ultimately advance and develop.
Fuel it up and win! Let's divide! Fuel it up and win!
Yes! You heard right! Fuel up at Gayle $5,000 or more and enter to win! Tune in to Jumpstart on 94.1 FM Monday and Friday to receive your call to win big! Check Facebook for participating locations and more details.
Protect your fuel system, boy! High mileage and performance, boy! Fuel it up and win!
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever aware that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
A Across the region right now, the death toll from Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas will be staggering, the country's government has warned, as aid efforts are being stepped up. The official death toll now stands at 30, but is expected to rise further. Officials are sending morticians and 200 body bags to the Abaco Islands, which was the worst hit by the storm. Dorian, which devastated the northern Bahamas from Sunday to Tuesday, has now made landfall in the U.S. state of North Carolina, but is weakening. Officials say hundreds, possibly thousands, are still missing in the Abacos and Grand Bahama Islands. On Thursday, the health minister of the Bahamas warned of a staggering final count. Still with the aftermath of Dorian, Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines has announced more help to the people of the Bahamas after Hurricane Dorian devastated the islands. The cruise line announced it will be mobilizing their fleet to help those in need. The devastation wrought by Dorian and the terror it inflicted during its day-and-a-half mauling of the Bahamas came into focus yesterday. The company, along with the Walt Disney Company, led by Disney Cruise Line, already committed more than $1 million each to help relief and recovery efforts in the Bahamas. The company said the Bahamas has been part of its family for nearly 5 decades, and its thoughts and support are with the country during this difficult time. And finally tonight, international news. Robert Mugabe, the Zimbabwean independence icon turned authoritarian leader, has died at the age of 95. Mr. Mugabe had been receiving treatment in a hospital in Singapore since April. He was ousted in a military coup in 2017 after 37 years in power. The former president was praised for broadening access to health and education for the black majority. But his later years were marked by violent repression of his political opponents and Zimbabwe's economic ruin. His successor, Emerson Mnangagwa, expressed his sadness, calling Mr. Mugabe an icon of liberation. Mr. Mnangagwa had been Mr. Mugabe's deputy before replacing him. Singapore's foreign ministry said it was working with the Zimbabwean embassy there to have Mr. Mugabe's body flown back to his home country for burial. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight and this week. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting.